what are you not very good at?
Uh, so my cached answer to this is I'm not very good at writing summaries.
Okay, you
Like,
want minutia in there. Like,
well, no, summaries of other people. Well, oh yeah, so two. That's actually, it's a very good point. That's a very good point. That'll lead me to a slightly less cached answer. So the cached version of the answer is like I read a book and I'm excited about it. I want everybody to read it. Now, some people in that situation would write a book summary. I have a lot of trouble with that. I'm just like, no,
uh-huh.
it's good. I don't want to give you a version that's less good.
Okay.
I just want you to check the thing out, like, and like it for its own sake, but like I don't want to be the reason that you think that it's dumb,
Yeah.
right? Like, so, and
Fair.
that's part of what gets in the way of me like trying to write a summary is, and and that's sort of, that's an emotional block. I could probably work on it, but for now I've actually just surrendered to it. I'm like, yep, I don't write summaries. I've now gotten dozens of people to read McGilchrist and perceptual control theory by just talking excitedly about them and talking about how they connect with other theories, and like not actually mostly summarizing them at all. And so
Nice.
that's my new strategy. But as you note, I am I'm also, at times, certainly most of the time, not very good at even summarizing my own work. Like it's hard for me to decide what to not say.
Yeah,
Uh, I like
I get that.
and so, fortunately, in some ways, what I'm doing is in part writing for a very niche audience who are themselves very fascinated in these subjects of like collective consciousness and the meta protocol and how to emerge a collaborative culture and all of that. And so, I can write 20,000 words about it and they're excited about it. They read my Google Docs, they leave comments and stuff like that. Um, and and so that's, yeah, that's fun. I like it. I like doing it. And the other thing is part of why I write, and I guess this, maybe this is true of summarizing too. I hadn't thought about this, huh? Part of why I write is to clarify my own thinking, and
Oh, sure.
that
That
definitely does benefit in part from the absurd verbosity of it. Like I'm just like, no, I want to explain every last fucking detail of this thing.
yeah.
Like, I wrote a doc called How We Get There, about a year ago, or well, it took me like 5 months to write it or something. It's like 20,000 words long, a third of which is appendices.
Oh,
But
Jesus.
that was just
Nice.
sort of the appendices is like stuff I also wanted to say that's relevant that I managed to not fit in the flow of the main thing.
Right, right.
you know but the like that's laying out in sort of painstaking detail, like the model that sort of sprung to mind. It actually was part of what sprung to mind in the moment I sort of grokked the non-naive trust dance in summer 2020. I was like, I also had this sense of, oh, and here are the implications of that for how we get there, like where there is
Mm-hmm.
like this
Mm-hmm.
collaborative culture place, like or where, put another way, there is like a culture, group of people, an experience of being in a culture with people where like everything is talk aboutable, and everything, people feel so like fully trusting around each other, but not in a naive way. Like they're just actually like, they trust that they can talk about everything because they can. And they can show other people how to also do that.
Right.
As so how do we get there? And so yeah, it's like, it was really clarifying to just write that out and not try to edit it down. It's like I would take out a paragraph if it seemed confused, but I would just let myself go into as much detail as I felt like about anything. And so it's like that helped me be like, I don't know what the hell I'm talking about here. What do I mean when I say this type of group and that type of group? Like, what? That doesn't even make any sense. But I was just like, well, let me just write out what I think about it. And so, yeah, that's been really cool. And just a couple days ago, I wrote another doc that felt like it was sort of the next pass on that doc. It was sort of like, it was sort of realizing, oh, here's what I meant when I said this type of group and that type of group. I actually meant this much more precise thing. And that just emerged in like basically writing a long letter that started as a message to a friend. Okay.
Well, so what would you consider yourself more of as an architect or like a gardener? Because a lot of that has been going around the systems thinking and like
Oh,
organization, stuff like that. Like, because it sounds like with appendices and summarization and like distilling things down, like I don't know what you would consider yourself really, like architecting exactly kind of what it is, et cetera, or like gardening and it might be a little messy and
it feels, I think if I had to pick between the two of those, I'd say more gardener. Like
okay.
it is very messy. I don't know where I'm going. I don't have a plan for what I'm going to write about when. Like I have a long list of top, like sort of, topics of, the NNTD that I want to write about. I can just even read out randomly a few of them. And, if people want, they can comment below and say, please make a video about this one.
Yeah, there you go.
So it's like, instead of saying X is Y, say, I can't tell the difference between X and Y.
Okay.
In general, people don't not care. They care about many things and don't know how to care for all of them together.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Then we were talking about that a little bit earlier with the Bill Jane thing. There's another one that just says everything makes sense.
Okay.
Blind spot feedback is hard. Protectiveness is damage control. The obstacle is the way, which is a Stoic quote.
Yeah.
I have a bunch of stuff to say about that. Talk about ability is only enough when it's satisfying to everyone. Everyone will constantly point out the ways in which your understanding is incomplete, and they will generally do so in the apparently least helpful way.
I love that one. Okay. Yeah. That might be my winner for you to do. Other than the obstacle is the way. That's a good one. Because I've seen that like Ryan Holiday and all the rest of the Stoic kind of resurgence in the last couple of years.